Well, we're on the waterfront in the capital. A chance for the defending champions to demonstrate they can be a contender. Straight to Matadigo. Man who plays for Montpellier. He played such a huge part in Montpellier's rebirth last season when they got all the way to the top 14 final. And really, I think where the Springboks are concerned, stop the Fijians playing. It's the only way they know. Fling the ball around, and you can see straight in there, Heinrich Brousseau, the breakdown king, just trying to rip that ball out. Back from Kenatali, the scrum half. The referee says that was inside the 22, or wasn't taken back in, so they could go directly for touch.
Well, a statement of intent, wasn't it? The acrobatic take from the kickoff by Matadigo, and then Fiji running it from deep, but Sense kicked in and they're down on the halfway line. So South Africa, so important to get the set piece right.
John Smith, his 108th cap today, equaling Victor Matfield's record as the most capped Springbok. And that was Pierre Spies climbing high. What an athlete he is. He's certainly a sub-11 100-meter runner. Started off his life playing on the wing. There's Brousseau breaking away. The offload to Duprier. And Duprier being wrapped up by Nalanga. Forward goes Stilka. And the ball has been flung out, and it's a penalty against Fiji. And already Bakis Botha, his first competitive clash for a month, and he seems to be gesticulating that there was head-on-head there.
Well, Botha right in there, wasn't he? But Fiji, they committed the sin, and it's the penalty against them. So an early pop-at goal for Morney Stein. And this is the ill-discipline that Fiji have to stay away from. They've got to allow the fact that they've got to allow the Springboks to compete. But the breakaway by Brousseau, the wee pop past Fury. Look at this one. Nalanga comes in for a big hit here. Oh, you could feel that from here, couldn't you?
There weren't too many arms around, were there? It appears to be that to which Bakis Botha was reacting. Well, Mornay Stein doesn't miss many off the kicking tee. 7 points against Wales, 3 out of 3. He's only been playing Test rugby for a little more than 2 years. Already, he's racked up 355 points. Getting a Quade Cooper type welcome. Well, it's his first miss of the World Cup. In all honesty, for a man of his quality, that was a bad one.
Yeah, that should have been straight between the sticks. Mornay Stein letting Fiji off the hook now. Fiji, well, in their matches against Namibia, they tended to clear long downfield, and undoubtedly, I think that's what they're shaping up to do.
They've gone deep. There's Stein again. This time he pumps it up. Spies is after it. Also Berger, they let it bounce to Fiji. That goes Livenyali. It is gathered. Gonivar right in the thick of it. There's Kenatale. There's Stein again. After it goes the youngster, Pat Lambie. But it's plucked out of the air by Nalanga. Nalanga, terrific off-road. That was to Matadigo. Oh, terrific play. Wonderful stuff from the Fijians. When they get the ball in hand, they are quite spectacular. On from Seremaya Bai, onto Gonivar. There's Ongera. Ongera who scored a try in that great win against Wales at Nantes 4 years ago. Kenatali burrowing away, but it is a penalty against Fiji.
Well, you'll also note, making a nuisance of himself. There he is wearing the scrum cap. Brousseau was right in there to deny the possession for Fiji. And this is the one area of the contact we've already talked about. Such a feature already that man there, he will win the breakdown for South Africa. Fiji just didn't get enough bodies there to clear the ball, to get that phase possession that they so desperately crave.
He plays with such poise, doesn't he, Brousseau? Second man in to the tackle. rips the ball out, stays on his feet. He's perhaps the best in the world at it.
Nalanga taking the ball there. There's some fantastic players. Ongera. Then the contact situation costing Fiji.
Got a glimpse there of Dani Rousseau, who rather quietly has stepped into the 60s now in terms of his appearances in Test rugby. There's Rousseau, the ball's gone forward, off a Springbok hand.
Well, it's been a smashing atmosphere simmering around the Wellington Harbour front today. Lots of green and gold, as you said, Martin. And just great atmosphere as we build towards these late kickoffs here in New Zealand. The conditions are absolutely perfect. Yes, it's a little bit blustery and swirly, but slightly protected within this stadium here. And a great crowd here to witness the action.
The Fijians have brought in some help from outside the country. Michael Foley behind the glass there, among others, as well as Masesi Rauluni, who you may remember playing at 9 for Saracens until very recently.
Well, there's no real surprise that John Smith has decided to take the scrum. If they can keep the pack down and launch their phase of possessions up there. And just at the back, number 8, Pierre Space. Just such a fantastic athlete. Watching him running around yesterday, full of athleticism and a wonderful ball carrier. It'll be interesting to see if he just picks up, ties in the Fijian back row, and then for South Africa to build their phases of possession.
These sides meeting for just the 3rd time. The last time 4 years ago in Marseille, in that quarter-final, 37-20. It ended up in the favour of South Africa, but that doesn't really properly tell the tale. You saw that man, J.P. Peterson, taking the ball up there with those bright red boots. It was his tackle which turned the game. Smith onto Ndungani. The tackle from the fly half. Luvenyali, penalty this time to Fiji.
Well, what has been noticeable in this World Cup is when a player such as Ndungani takes the ball into contact, if they're isolated, such are the defences over the top, is that they will spoil possession. A lot of players getting penalised for handling on the ball. Ndungani not releasing in that contact area. Here you see it there. 2 Fijian players over the top, denying the possession. They've got to remember to stay on their feet, though.
So a test here at the throwing arm of Sinea Koto. He's got some big fellas there. Amele Rabavu. It's fed out from Kenatali to Livignali. Big battering rams in the centre, Seremaya Bai and also Gavi Lovon-Balavu. Out from Kenatali. Kenatali again. Feeding Manu, just outside the Springboks 22. There's Matadigo. Rugby's Borta there making the tackle. There goes Luvignali, former Harlequins man, now playing for London Welsh. Kenatali again. There's the fullback, Muri Murivalu. They're making good progress here. Lovon-Balavu feeding the ball on there. There's Nalanga. He scored so many tries for Clermont-Auvergne before disappearing in slightly mysterious circumstances at the start of last season. But it's good to see Nalanga back playing rugby. He's committed to go and play in Super Rugby next season for the Western Force in Perth. There's Koto. A dozen phases already.
What's the line, boys?
And as you can see, just building the phase. When it's slow, they have to start again, trying to get their big runners, their key strike runners, such as Nalanga, Lovon-Balavu.
Up to 14 phases. They're going to spread it wide this time. Oh, there's almost a chance there for Peterson. Well, the long pass off the left hand, and you could see how Peterson was eyeing that one up.
He was almost licking his lips, wasn't it? Goniva was out wide. But Fiji, you can just see the intent. They're all comfortable ball handlers as well. This is when they'd set up the phase. They went wide this time. Peterson comes in off his wing. The flick pass wasn't able to be made by Gonivar. Good pressure though. And it was interesting watching Fiji in the warm-up. They were actually operating the close spaces and trying to break a tackle with their defence, trying to offload, so they're very comfortable when they're going to hit the contact, but it's their beauty, depth of hand that they cannot offload within that contact.
Picked up by Spies, showing that, not really at that time, but the sort of acceleration he has got. As I was saying, he's certainly sub-11 for 100 metres. Some people have said he's capable of running about 10.7.
Off your feet, you have to roll out.
Fiji penalised for going off their feet.
Yeah, Matadigo at number 8 for Fiji, just going in over the top, but it was a first glimpse of Pierre Spies and the way he drives off from the scrum, and got a few whistles going round, because look at the size of this kick that South Africa have opted to go.
Well, it flies with the force of an exocet when he gets hold of it. France staying. We've seen him drop goals from inside his own half, so with the help of the kicking tee and a good run at it, under normal circumstances, 56, 57 metres, well within his compass. And he's certainly got the distance. He's also got the line.
Well, what a magnificent kick from Frans Steyn. You talked about a run-up. He hardly has a run-up. He just walked up to that and absolutely nailed it.
And the flight's pretty low as well, isn't it? It went through the uprights there, still at a fair old speed. Gets his back underway. Lungani waits for it. Little step, and now he's knocked backwards by, among others, Deacon Manu, the captain. Manu, who's been playing in Llanelli for the Scarlets for the last 5 seasons. Here goes Dani Rousseau. Rousseau wearing his 4th different number, on the back of a green and gold shirt this season. Peterson. Peterson's got real speed round Gonivar. The offload to Lambie, up to the 22. Spies had to really bend his back for that one. There's Berger. Straight into Campisi Marfu. Steyn. Rousseau. Oh, the pass was just delivered a split second too late.
Yeah, Fiji got the man and ball there. You heard Romain Poit saying there was a hand in the tackle. So knocked on, but Rousseau, well, he knows he wanted to get that ball away out to his winger. What a marvellous counter-attack, though, from South Africa. Frans Steyn, let the ball do the work is often a phrase you hear in coaches' parlance. But this is where the movement actually broke down. So out was Nalanga, I think, that came in there, just to deny that overlap. And the frustration shown on the big second row.
Yes, Dani Rousseau. First selected for the Springboks back in 2001 by the then coach, Harry Fillion. Was injured the day before they were due to leave, and he had to wait another 2 years to get his first cap. But this, his 60th. Steyn again, inside the 22, Dupria. Referee playing advantage here to South Africa. They'll have a penalty virtually straight in front if they don't make something of this. There goes Spies. The referee still playing the advantage. Lambie. Well, we're going to come back for the penalty. It's going to be another straightforward chance. Moments away from the world champions. Well, he's coming quite a long way across, actually, isn't he?
It's quite interesting because Dupria said he'll take the penalty. There was still phase possession being played there, and there's a look at young Pat Lambie. He's an exciting talent for South Africa, this youngster.
Well, here's ambition for you. I hesitate to say it, but at this stage, 3 points up, 15 minutes gone. The word ambition is something you don't necessarily associate with the current Springboks.
You talk about ambition, man. They've certainly attacked from deep. They've now got this opportunity 5 metres from the Fijian line. We've talked about how good their line-out must be, how solid it must be. Rousseau comes forward to give the call.
Spies climbing high. Rousseau's got it. Steenkamp battering his way to the line. Held up though. There's Buerta. De Prea. Berger. Still half a metre to go. Look at the white jerseys. De Prea again. Steenkamp's on. This time it's Duplessis. Steenkamp again for the second time. The Springboks sensing blood here, but De Prea's left it behind and the chance is gone.
Well, the applause that goes up around the stadium. Fourie De Prea with that knock-on. South Africa just have to be patient. They just have to go through the phases. Looking out wide, actually, South Africa had a 2-man overlap out wide, but they're happy to take it through their forwards. But you almost felt with the peel round here that Steenkamp was going to go over the line. Good defence that came in from Ongera wearing the scrum cap, and again Schalkberger running at the line, but a good wrap-up tackle by the Fijians. They're comfortable in defence, you know.
Well, we talked an awful lot about the current injury list for the Springboks. Matfield hamstring, James hip, De Villiers rib, Habana knee, Jan Muller hamstring. But to look at it from a positive perspective where South Africa are concerned, as Matadigo comes away, when was the last time, apart from last weekend, when we had the likes of Fourie De Prea, the likes of Schalkberger, the likes of Heinrich Rousseau, all playing in the same Springbok team? You're almost going back 2 years, really. So maybe they're timing things right.
Yeah, Luvignali just clears the sun. What about this for Matadigo? He picks up. He's under a little bit of pressure, steps, but you've noticed that Brousseau come off the scrum. Technically illegal, picked up by Romain Poit. Fiji clear their line.
So we're through 17 minutes, 3 points to 0. The Springboks lead. And Mangani, confident under that high ball. Lambie. Johnny Barr's coming across for it. The ball's gone forward. The referee playing advantage here. Not from Kenatale. Luvignali just being wrapped up. There's Kenatale again. Mangani just finding himself surrounded by white jerseys to Lambie, who had to hurry there with the right foot.
Yeah, he was under a bit of pressure. There was opportunity to just move that ball another one. South Africa had 2 other players back in support. But interesting that Fiji they're quite happy maybe playing a bit of territory there by playing a kicking game. And certainly in this opening quarter, they've added to the entertainment.
Good work again there from Spies, but it's been picked up. Forward goes Koto. Back to the scrum half, Kenatale. That's Wangani Broto. Yanni Duplessis made the tackle. Taken on that time by the captain, Deacon Manu. Kenatale again. Luvignali. That was Saramaia by Matadigo. This is good from the Fijians. There's Mafu. The try line in the background. Nalanga. Referee playing advantage now to Fiji. By with the feed inside, and it's dropped by Akapusi Ongera. The Jacques Fourie, and also on the far side there, JP Peterson, I think, called for being offside.
Well, Fiji up to go for the goal. And it's exciting every time Fiji get their hands on the ball. Of course, against Namibia, that 49 points to 25 win, there was far more space. The Namibians weren't as organised as South Africa, but sorry, the Namibians They let more holes through, they let more opportunities. This was Koto, and just the way that Fiji are able to go through their phases of possession, they're always a threat. But an offside there from JP Peterson. You saw he came offside. And Momin Pak from out wide blows the whistle for the penalty.
So Saramaya Bai, he played for a few seasons at Clermont-Auvergne before moving just over a year ago to Castres. Doesn't do that much kicking for whichever club side he's been playing for over the course of the last 5 years, but he was pretty decent during the week. Successful with 8 out of 9. And he's made it 1 out of 1 here.
Well, Fiji on a few occasions have gone through 12, 13, 14 phases of possession. They've been very patient. And as I mentioned earlier, because South Africa have got a better defence than Namibia, they haven't yet found the holes, but they are very confident within their handling game. That's what they must rely on if they're going to pose problems.
Well, Ndungani was through on that. Picked up by Ongera. Looking for the offload inside. Look at Brosseau again, straight back onto his feet. Vignali with a little chip over the top. Peterson found himself with plenty of company there. Lovon Barlavu's gone chasing after it. Across goes Buri de Priya. Good work that from the scrum half. But look at the white jerseys. It's come out on their side. Kenatali back to Gonivar. There's Levignali, Matadigo, the tackle from his opposite number, Spies. On goes Lewaravu. That's the Springbok 22. Bye. Nibaruto there. Palming off the opposition tacklers. Back to Bai again. Muri Valu. Manu. You can see how Berger just trying to turn him round. Look there, there's Brosseau again, burrowing away on his feet. Good work though from Levignali. Back to Bai, who looked for the drop goal, didn't have enough time, good step. Up to the 22, Lovon Barlavu. Putting his shoulder in, there's Gonivar. The try-scoring hero against Namibia. Well, they're going confidently through the phases, aren't they? Lewaravu that time. Bai is almost slipping back into the pocket, but the ball's been turned. Peterson just happy to get a foot on the ball. Well, it's not dead. Well, Jacques Fourie was almost there, wasn't he?
Well, what a passage of play, wasn't it? But it was the South Africans' defensive line that held. Clever chip, and then the other chip that comes through here. Downfield it goes. Du Preez gets back. Now watch the contact area. Deacon Manu wearing number 3. South Africa look to watch it. He's coming right to your picture now. Bang! There he goes, drives the legs. Then the ball comes back. Wonderful play there by the prop forward that allowed the momentum and for the possession to be taken.
Magni Broto there, claiming the ball at the line out. There's JP Peterson. Through 2 tackles, through a third. Straight into Mafu. Brosseau. Here's Francois Stang. Running straight into Nakarawa and getting all the way up to the 22. Good ground made by South Africa. John Smith goes straight to Mornay Steyn. Pat Lambie. So, oh dear, you could feel that up here. Steyn, there's a bit of a chance here. Francois Steyn. De Preer, Peterson, Steenkamp. Steenkamp for the corner, gets the try.
Well, really, it was the green wave machine, wasn't it, that got Steenkamp over wide. I felt the try could have come earlier from Frans Steyn. There was men over. That was where the space always was. So the Fijian line has been reached. This man's a great winger, isn't he? He's a bit of a Rolls Royce. JP Peterson sets the ball up. Excellent play. Morné Steyn through the hands. Now, this is the point where I felt Francois Steyn should have given the ball out to Jacques Bourri. But look at the loop around that comes in. The ball set up by De Preer. Steenkamp had some work to do, gets in at the corner. 3 Fijians try and deny him. And that's good strength and power from the South African prop forward.
Well, Guthrie Steenkamp will be looking to give Deacon Manu a torrid time in the scrummage over the course of 80 minutes. On that occasion, it was in the loose. He just bounced off the Fiji captain. Here's Morné Steyn. Can he make it a 7-point score? Yes, he can.
And suddenly things are a little bit more comfortable for South Africa. Into this second quarter now. And South Africa, interesting, I think, playing more of an open game than perhaps we expected. But they are finding the space out wide.
My wife thinks I'm in Belleville. Well, I can tell you now, that's in the northern suburbs of Cape Town. I think he has probably been gone for a while. He's gone to Pick and Pay in Belleville, according to Mrs. du Plessis. And he's been gone a fortnight. Rousseau again, rumbling forward. Good hands from De Preer. There's Yanni du Plessis. A doctor by trade, Yanni du Plessis. We've got 1 or 2 of those at the World Cup. Rodrigo Roncero is another. Men who I think are capable on occasions of leaving the Hippocratic Oath to one side for 80 minutes when they play rugby. Referee playing advantage here. Look at Spies. What an athlete.
Second advantage, tackle assist, must
So,
release.
second advantage,
7.
you must release,
Offside
says the referee,
tackle
Romain Poix.
assist.
Well, what a run by Pierre Spies, the number 8 for South Africa, as Ngera looks on. Nothing he could do about that. When that man Spies gets going, he's more used to perhaps playing in the open parade and getting his legs thumping, but he's certainly got his legs charging on that occasion. He's such a physical specimen, really testing this back row defence for Fiji. But the change of tactic from Morné Steyn. Peterson goes up, also Lambie. They put pressure on the Fijians. And what happens to the Fijians, as you saw from that shot, they don't realign their defence well enough. But what about this? This is all power and strength, isn't it?
Well, he missed one early. His last one dissected the uprights. And this one does similarly. Well, followers of the Springboks are just saying, look, it's 7 matches. We're 1 down already, having beaten Wales. We may have dodged a couple of bullets there. And so far, so good against the spirited Fiji side. Vinyali with the restart to Undungani. Well taken there by Matadigo, rather like a basketball. He took that underneath the hoop, straight into Bucky's Buerta and the try scorer Steenkamp. There's Goniva looking for the offload. He finds Mafu. Kenatali changes direction. That time to Leorabu. They're up and going. That's Ongera. This is impressive from the Fijians. Livenyali looking for Matadigo. Well, the ball is lost forward.
Yeah, Livenyali, he was just looking for that offload, wasn't he? But what the Fijians are so good at is the way that they actually hit the outside arm of a defender and they're able to offload and support in the pass. It's just great to see. They get their angles of running there. Mahafu hitting the deck, tackle by Stain. It's the quick recycling though, and all big men as well. Ravu took the ball into the contact. The pick up by Ongera. This is where the movement just broke down.
Well, South Africa needed 4 tries today to reach 100 in Rugby World Cup matches. They've got one of them, and also one part of the way to a try bonus point. Well, that was unintentional from Jacques Fourie, but it worked nicely. And Ngani taking it. South Africa still 10 metres inside their own half. Burger, Bucky's Buerta, who's had that Achilles problem. Thought unlikely he'll get through 80 minutes today. Stain, not his best kick. And I think the same could be said of that effort from Kini Murimurivalu.
Yeah, Murimurivalu from the Clermont club, just overcooking that one. Schalkberger, always around the ball. Schalkberger, a big ball carrier for South Africa. There's a few French supporters in here. We're going up to Napier tomorrow to watch Canada play against France.
Schalkberger feeding Spies. Well, they've had a real conveyor belt in number 8 in the last decade or so, haven't they, South Africa? The attempt at the drop. France Stain, well, that looked more like a grubber.
Yeah, one to forget out of the... well, this guy can kick a good ball, can he, France Stain? Of course, played full-back against Wales, now up into the centre.
But he is probably more at home in the centre. That's where he plays largely for his club, Racing Metro, in Paris. That club have got 1 or 2 Fijians. I say 1 or 2, actually about 4. And one of the problems that Fiji has when it comes to World Cups is getting all their players internationally here. The likes of Sorelli Bombo, who got a try in that quarter-final for Fiji against South Africa 4 years ago. Josh Matavesi, Vikimi Batakwa. There were 3 Fijians who played for Racing Metro who weren't released for the World Cup. Yanni Duplessis, referee playing advantage here. Through 2 attempted tackles, almost through a third. Look at Brissot is there. Dupria, chance again in the same corner. Oh, it's gone to Lambie. And Jacques Fourie, well, you can see there how the defender is pointing to the touchline. We may well get this one referred. But Jacques Fourie is confident that he now has moved on to 31 test tries.
Yes, Roman. Is there a reason why I cannot award a try?
Confirmed secondary question.
Well, the decision, or the question as it were, to the TMO, very much in the affirmative where South Africa are concerned. This one's for Matt Goddard of Australia. But Jacques Fourie, playing his rugby these days down in Cape Town. Your judgment on this one, please, Scott.
All about that left foot. But no, that's a try. For me, that try came from Unungani. They follow up, put the pressure on the Fijian mistake, and then the take on and carry by Gianni Dupria.
So, in his 66th international, Jacques Fourie makes it 31, and to put that into some sort of perspective, the South African record 38, jointly held by Brian Habana and Jos van der Westhuizen.
Yeah, it was a good pass by Frans Steen. He created the speed of movement which allowed Pat Lambie to put in his centre.
He's quite a useful centre there behind the glass. Dick Muir wasn't the fastest man out of the blocks, but he really was the thinking man's rugby player for Natal, and later for Western Province and the Stormers, and the kick just drifting on the wing there. Well, they almost ask too much, don't they? The men in green and gold there. They seem to be enjoying themselves, though.
This was the spill by Fiji, and look at that. It was the pace on the pass, wasn't it, by Steyn, that allowed Lambie just the give and take. Jacques Fourie, well, he's a big man, and he's in at the centre once again.
There he is again, Fourie. 18 points to 3. This far, a very polished performance from the Springboks. But so, he's got a fair amount of speed. Remember, he's earned plenty of caps in the back row. That pass to no one. Tied it up by Fourie. He's off again, isn't he? Look at him. Oh, that tackle looked a little high, but, well, Remarquois playing advantage here to the Springboks. Berger, long pass out. There's Pat Lambie. You can see how the men in green and gold, they just want the ball in the hands here.
3.
Yeah, Fiji just have to tighten up their defence. They're just allowing too much space for the green and gold to run in the spaces. And whilst the first 20 minutes were very good from a Fiji perspective defensively, as well as going through the phases of possession, just their ill discipline a little bit. The way they reset their defensive line has allowed South Africa just to move up a pace in this game. This is Fourie, this is the high tackle. In comes the loose arm. Koto. In actual fact, it was Deacon Manu, wasn't it? Just a little bit negligent there, catching his man over the top of the shoulder and around the neck.
So here he is, Morné Steyn. 50% tonight so far. And he's pushed that one a little wide as well. So he's down to 40%. Very un-Morné Steyn.
Well, I feel some of Fiji's kicking has also been a bit loose as well, and Luvignali, he always kicks long from the 22s, but he's always kicked down towards Morné Steyn. Now, there's an opportunity, perhaps, for Fiji to try and get their forwards under it. They've got to compete with a loose ball. They've got to shake up this game. Well, at least he's gone down the other side. De Bria has this one covered.
And there he is. Clear space. Look at him. That tackle a little bit high that time from Lewarabu. Referee playing advantage again. Steyn to Lambie. 3. There goes JP Peterson. Frans Steyn plays scrum half. Guthrie Steenkamp plays battering ram. Schalk Berger that time. Good continuity this from the Springboks. Maybe just dwelling a little too long, but they've recovered here. There's Rousseau. Tackle from Koto. Steenkamp here, anxious to seal his place. A lot of competition for the one jersey in the South African team. They're inside the Fiji 22. De Bria, Berger, Buerta. Makis Buerta playing against a future colleague tonight. Gabi Lovombalavou is one of the stars at Toulon, the south of France. That's where Makis Buerta is going. They've turned it at Fiji. He's Luvignali. And he's found some space. Fourie is scampering back. He's got Undungani to his right. There he is. He's got JP Peterson for help. Peterson staying on his feet and doing very well, the wing. Morné Steyn changing direction. Montadigo is waiting underneath it. So, and Fourie dumping him into touch. Well, you have to say, it has been 39 minutes and a few seconds that has almost entirely belonged to the Springboks.
Yeah, very much so. A very solid opening half here for South Africa. They've been very clever the way they've used the ball. They've manipulated the space. They pulled Fiji out. But what I've been impressed with is the carrying of Guthrie Steenkamp, du Plessis as well, Bakis Botha, Rousseau. They've got the big ball carriers involved with Schalkberger as well. When they've set up those runners, it allows the backs the space to run, and they've moved the ball well.
Well, we saw 4 years ago in Marseille in that quarter-final that Fiji had the capacity and the spirit to bounce back. So the match a long way from over yet. But there will be a lot to discuss at half-time for the fellas back in the studio. But certainly, South Africa looking rather more like world champions than they maybe did a week ago.
Yeah, also when Fiji have actually moved the ball and gone through their phases of possession, certainly South Africa have looked comfortable in the defensive alignment. They've made their tackles, they've closed down some of the Fijian space, and they've made it uncomfortable for Fiji at times.
Behind number 9.
Clear to stay. The France stay. Drea getting wrapped up. This will be the last phase of play in the first half. The old captain gets up and trundles on. There's Schalkberger.
And this is what I'm saying about the big ball carriers taking that forward, allows the backs to attack.
That was Dani Rousseau. There's Rousseau. Schalkberger, former World Player of the Year there. Good to see him back playing Test rugby after almost a year out. He missed the Tri-Nations with that dislocated thumb, and it's a penalty to the Springboks. And it's got to be go for the 3 points, isn't it?
Offside and come to the side. Shot.
Well, I didn't really have to answer your question, Martin, but again, solid by South Africa, wasn't it?
13 offside.
They are physical,
Came from the side.
and at times Fiji haven't been able to flood the contact area. Here they did, but they then went into an offside position.
Well, the kicking percentage is back to 50% for Morné Steyn on the night. Well, on the waterfront, they are showing that perhaps they can be contenders, South Africa. They lead Fiji after 40 minutes by 21 points to 3.
Drop goals that really a bit of waste of possession.
Yeah.
Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Despite that miss, it all adds up to 21-3 for South Africa into the second half in Wellington, where we're back with Scott Hastings and Martin Gillingham.
Okay, kicker, wide.
Well, Bakis Botha has gone off after 40 minutes, so South Africa making their first change. And it's Livinyali who gets us back underway. Lambi with a long clearance kick. Muri Valu. There you can see the change. Willem Alberts, the Shark, is the replacement in the second row, and he's straight into the action there. Well, it's certainly been a good first 40 for Peter de Villiers. We can debate, I suppose, day and night just how much contribution some coaches have to team successes, but he's got a cracking CV. He's won a Tri-Nations. And he has got some marvellous wins against the All Blacks in New Zealand. Oh, good hands there from Berg. He did rather well, didn't he? He was almost back on his heels. Peter de Villiers will have been happy with that first 40. There's Brosseau, Ndungani, Peterson, Lavon Barlavou with a tackle. Here's Jacques Ferry. He's already got one try tonight. Now he needs support. First man on the scene was Dani Rousseau, but it's been turned over by the Fijians.
Well, there's physical in there. Fiji have actually got men over if they come to the right of your picture here. But they couldn't get the ball back quick enough.
Men's on the ground.
Jacques Ferry, though, with the incisive break. Felt there could have been a pop pass right over the top of the Fijian defence to release Pierre Spies out wide.
Time off.
But Stoltberger.
Time off.
Well, he was questioning Romain Poix. It wasn't me, ref. And there's Jacques Ferry. He's a big centre, that man.
Well, it's Wami Leeuwaravu, the Sale Shark, who's down and needs a bit of treatment. But there is John Smith, who's been in the firing line a fair amount in recent weeks,
Can I get, please?
particularly in the run-up to this contest.
Once again, Peterson unleashes Ferry. Now, Ferry, there was a pass right over the top of the defence there. There, left of your picture was Pierre Spies. But this is where the contact area went. Through came Stoltberger. You could see him playing the ball on the ground. And Romain Poix straight in there against the big blonde-haired flanker.
Sometimes, Scott, we marvel, don't we, at the physiques, particularly of some of the Pacific Island players. But have you ever seen an all-round athlete like the South African number 8, Pierre Spies?
He came out yesterday, didn't he? And here at the training ground in Wellington, it was mid-afternoon. Oh, sorry, it was mid-morning in actual fact. Sun was down. He was absolutely ripped. And the way he was throwing the ball around, the way he was sprinting after the ball, it was a real sight. And it's great to see him back in, not only playing in a World Cup, but back in a South African jersey.
Well, we used to think that Bob Skinstad was a bit special. Then we got Joe van Niekerk with an 8 on his back. And I remember Skinstad saying to me once, look out for this fella van Niekerk when he plays, and he was incredibly quick. Perhaps not necessarily as good a hands as Skinstad, but now we've got Pierre Spies, who is just about the complete package, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm just looking down the commentary box here, and we do have Bobby Skinstad just 2 down from us. Wonderful player. Applied his trade at Stellenbosch before he embarked upon this wonderful international career of his. But South Africa can churn out some great 8s, can't they?
There's Malanga just going in, the wing. Wants to get the ball tucked underneath his arm. He's been a little bit frustrated tonight. Used to having played so much rugby in France at Clermont, where they used to use him all the time. Top try scorer in France for 2 straight seasons. There's Levenyali. Lambie. Ndungani. Ndungani, another player who's placed in the team under a lot of scrutiny. Francois Hougaard made a real impact against Wales last week. There's France Steyn. Combining there with Jacques Ferry. There's Rousseau. Just dummying in the direction of Mornay Steyn. Oh, and that time it's the captain knocking it on. You can almost hear the U's and the R's in the background and people whispering Bismarck Duplessis. When are we going to see him?
Well, maybe that error by John Smith may see the change being made earlier rather than later. But again, I'm just impressed with the physicality of the South Africans. They've really matched up against the Fijians. And the Mexican wave just goes by us and it'll hit the other side. But Fiji, if they're going to find a way back into this game, they're going to have to attack from deep. They're going to have to raise the game. They're going to have to find some inspirations. Who is going to stand up for Fiji and light the spark?
Levenyali with a cross kick. Well covered there by Lambie, who just kept his toes in. Terrific offload there to Ndungani, but the official on the far side, you can see George Clancy, who refereed the opening game, which is only, what, 8 days ago? We've been a long way, haven't we, since then? George Clancy obviously deciding there that Mr. Lambie had his tippy toes on the white line.
can we get a smile on these Fijian faces? I thought the positioning by Lambie was very good, covered the ball well, just momentum took him over the line.
It was just his right foot, wasn't it? Matadigo. Straight in there was Skultberger. His father was quite a rugby player. Played for South Africa during the isolation years. Willem Alberts. There with the tackle. It's Kenatali. Feeding the ball on. And it's a bit loose. Eventually it comes to Kenatali again. There's Ongera. Still going, Akapusi Ongera. Referee says the advantage is over. Lubanyali, Saramaya Bai.
And Fiji, when they're taking in, they're met by a great defensive line. Skultberger once again stopping the Reds. You can see the way that South Africa are closing down that Fijian attacking line.
And eventually running out of patience, but the little offload there from Furi de Prier doesn't go to hand, but the referee playing advantage here to the Springboks. The ball having gone forward off a Fijian.
Forward 14 white, scrum green ball.
Veroniki Honivar.
Yes.
He was the player who knocked it on, according to Monsieur Poit.
Okay. Yeah.
And Fiji not just getting the space in which to execute their skill and offloading game. As I said, South Africa's defensive line very, very solid. Mistake that came in there from Kenatali. It's all a little bit scrappy. But you can maybe hear over the commentary, the stadium's going crazy for Fiji. They want to see this game ignited with some brilliance from Fiji. But South African are just snuffing out this threat.
Well, those territory and possession statistics rather betraying what we see on the scoreboard, aren't they? Well, all the talk over the coffee machines in the media centres up and down New Zealand over the course of the last 8 days has been New Zealand and Australia, the two major contenders. They're the teams that have impressed most people so far. Are South Africa putting a hand up here and saying, look, fellas, we actually hold this trophy. And I know on the whole, defending champions don't do that well, but I think they are delivering a message here to World Rugby, aren't they?
No, absolutely. There's the man, Dick Muir. When you left Peter de Villiers, I was speaking to Dick Muir yesterday. They knew that they had to step up. They felt that they were a bit rusty coming into this competition. I think the dust was shaken off against Wales. Wales gave South Africa a fright and a half. They really did. They know it was a game they would have lost. But now the changes on for South Africa.
Well, Willem Alberts must have picked up a knock very early because he's only been on 6 minutes. Also on there you can see Bismarck Duplessis. Francois Lowe is on. He'll be playing rugby for Bath next season.
Standing up.
And look at the power from the Springboks.
Yeah, just another indication from South Africa how controlled they've been in the scrum. They're now starting to just wear down that Fijian 8. Here you can see it's just an 8-man drive, isn't it? It was solid though. John Schmidt at the head. But just a good 8-man drive and delight within the coaching team of South Africa.
So Smith with the throw. It's Francois Lowe who picked it up. Stein, Furi, looking for a little gap, looking for the offload there, picked up by Undungani. Through goes Dani Rousseau. De Prier, Heinrich Rousseau, the little chip over the top, Francois Stein, the bounce is good, so is the step, and there is the try.
Well, delight on South African faces. Frans Steen, he was the recipient of Henrik Brousseau's kick ahead, but still had the patience of mind to step in. Brousseau takes off the scrum cap. They found the space again, the big runners. Danny Rousseau on this occasion, they got behind the Fijian defence. They can set up their platform now. Mornestein, look at the space out wide. Frans Steen picks up, and it's just a simple step in around Nalanga. He just couldn't hold the South African in the defence. It was just the awareness from the flanker, though, to know where the space was. Delight from Henrik Brousseau.
Well, I did mention a couple of minutes ago that Bismarck du Plessis had come on. I've just actually been informed he's warming up. We thought he was already on the field for a couple of moments, but he'll be here, I'm sure, relatively shortly. It's about the time that you'd expect him to make some sort of intervention, as Mornestein just flirts there with the left hand upright. And now the Springboks really are looking rampant, aren't they? 28 points to 3.
Yeah, the game very much under control, and the South African flanker, the little dink, Frans Steen, they just identified exactly where the space was and executed it perfectly.
So a change being made there by Fiji. Off comes Masi Matadigo. Matadigo there being replaced by Kwame Bole, who used to play at Sale. When he gets back home, it'll be to France to play for Lyon, recently promoted to the French top 14. And our first view of Kwame Bole, rampaging forward. That's what fans at Edgeley Park will be missing. There's Ongera. Vinyali just twisting and turning. And from Kenatale. Kwame Bole again. Now from Seremaya Bai. Nalanga. Karawa. Kenatale beating Kwame Bole. The third big carry in a couple of minutes. And penalised is Skalkberger. Quickly taken by Kenatale. The offload to Ongera. There's Nalanga. And stolen by Ndungani. Well done, the Springbok. Oh, Rousseau, that was cheeky. To Frans Steen. There's Mornestein. Oh, and he caught out Pat Lambie there. There's Deacon Manu. Leaves it for his scrum half. Laurent Balabou, little grubber through, straight into the shins of Dupria. Away comes Peterson. Rugby says the advantage is over. Gonivar trying to turn his opposite number into touch, but there's Furi Dupria. Back to Lambie. It's Francois Lowe. I can tell you that Bismarck du Plessis has been running up and down on the touchline for about the last 5 minutes. I think he'll be on soon, along with Francois Hogarth. That was a great run, but it's all getting a bit untidy for a moment. That was Brousseau out of the back of the hand to Frans Steen, taken by Nakarawa. A little chip ahead there from Laurent Balabou.
Well, bodies just littered all over the park. Mistakes coming in. You can just see the pace of this game. Skolberger, Danny Rousseau gasping for air. It has been end-to-end, but the reason it's so hard for these players is they've been working so hard on the defensive chores, and that's basically squeezed the life out of Fiji.
So a change at scrum half for Fiji. Off comes Namir Kenatali, replaced by Vittori Buatava. And there are the Springbok changes. On comes Francois Hougaard. And at long last, we do have Bismarck du Plessis. So off comes the captain, John Smith. What a career he's had. Played in every Springbok game at the last 3 World Cups, 2003, 2007 and 2011. A lot of his critics, or at least Peter de Villiers' critics, thinks that he may have to make a brutal call on the position of hooker if South Africa are to retain this title.
Crutch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Come close, okay? We close the gap, too far.
So South Africa closing in on that 100th try in the Rugby World Cup. Remember, the first try scored at Newlands in the opening game, 1995, when the Springboks started their trip, which was to end at Ellis Park and the triumph. It started, though, with a win against Australia down at Newlands in Cape Town. Missing out Lovon Balavu to Muri Murivalu. Grant Steyn making the tackle, but Muri Murivalu straight back onto his feet. There's the new scrum half, Buatava, out for Luvinyali, Tungera, Malanga. A rare opportunity to see him stretching his legs. He's always got that very pronounced forward lean. Such a powerful man. Jacques Ferré, Lampy getting caught on his heels.
Yeah, Nakawara with the big tackle, the big number 4 coming in there. South Africa quite happy just to go through the phases of possession. They've felt very comfortable in the defence. They're quite happy to set up again.
Oh, Bismarck du Plessis just being stripped there, but we saw with that run just what a contributor he is. Bismarck du Plessis, his brother, of course, is Yanni du Plessis, products of Grey College in Bloemfontein, which has produced a fair few top-class sportsmen over the years, not all of them rugby players, a few decent cricketers, the odd athlete as well.
Here's Nalanga taking the ball into contact. This is where South Africa have done well. They've been competing, slowing down that ball, disturbing it. Muri Murivalu comes in wearing the number 15 jersey. Bismarck du Plessis takes the ball in, but it was the full-back who stripped the ball, forced the error from the South African replacement.
Locks wide. Crutch.
Getting penalised there was Heinrich Brosseau.
Straight and move forward.
Well, since the opening 20 minutes, when Fiji started to have some ball, they went through some phases of possession. They tested the South African defence. There's not been an awful lot of continuity within their play. So what can they do here? Now they've got the set piece. Can they send something up for their backs to run at?
There's Buatava feeding the ball out to Luvinyali. Lovon Balavu was coming through. Recovered there by Seremaya Bai. There's Buatava again. Koyame Bole. Enormous man, but being stripped of the ball there. There's Mark Duplessis making up for lost time. Well, they stay. Quick clearance downfield. Here's Goniva. 4 tries on his Rugby World Cup debut against Namibia. Hasn't really seen too much of the ball today.
Well, it's been a measure of the South African defence that they've kept both Goniva and also on the other wing, Nalanga. They've just kept them at bay, and it's tackles like that that are making a huge difference.
That's Wangani Proto going forward. There's Muri Valu. There's Deacon Manu, the captain, the halfway line. By Mafu to Koto. The offload back to Mafu. This is better. There's Nakarawa. Jeremiah Bai again, just stepping inside Guthrie Steenkamp. Had such a fast start to the match.
Again, just another indication. Jacques Fourie just flew up on his opposite man, snuffed out the threat of the tackle. Scott Berger goes in, Nalanga takes the ball in. It's such a physical game now.
And a little chip over the top, and Lambie has plenty of time. Pat Lambie, youngest man in this Springbok squad, good sportsman at school, went to the famous Michael House School in Natal. He was captain there of not only rugby but cricket as well. So 21 minutes remain. And the Cape Tin has witnessed something of a rebirth here of the Springboks. They did beat the All Blacks, a weakened All Blacks lineup down in Port Elizabeth about a month ago. But the class of ruthless judgment since 2009, when of course they lifted the Tri-Nations, beat the Lions by their own high standards. South African rugby really has not been at its best, but are they timing their peak to perfection?
Yeah, well, clever play there from Monestein, finding JP Peterson out on the wing. Wangana Broto just pulled out of position. You just have a feeling that this third quarter, nothing really much has happened. Of course, South Africa looking to extend that lead. The game is undoubtedly won now, but it's how they can polish off this performance. It has been very solid. They've played a wider game than perhaps expected, but they've just denied Fiji the opportunity to play their wide and open game. They've cut down their space, they've made their tackles, they've reset their defensive line. And with 20 minutes to go, what more can they do? But can Fiji spark this crowd in this wonderful stadium? Can they get a try and put South Africa under pressure? Oh, and mistakes like that, it's not going to happen.
Well, there's a little hack forward from Farida Preya. And he had Pierre Spies for company, but in the end it's the scrum half, Buatava, who goes scampering back.
Well, just Buatava, just fumbling ball. Farida Preya gets the boot to it, but the opposite scrum half gets back, manages to clear his line, and ever-present Pierre Spies also out there.
Dylan Rousseau confirming the line-out call. It goes to Willem Alberts, who's back after his brief blood bin. And there's Rousseau, you can see, with the ball tucked under his arm. There's the try line on the left-hand side of the screen. Rousseau pops out. He's up and running again. Mafu makes the tackle. There's de Preer. Mornay Stein, Jacques Fourie, Lambie looking for the offload. Hogarth goes back and tidies it up. Yanni Duplessis feeling the force. Stein Now to France then, it's JP Peterson. He got a try in that quarter-final 4 years ago. There's PSP's, look at him. Takes such a lot of knocking down. Corey de Prier. And the green and gold wave is flooding towards the Fiji line. Skaltberger, Mornay Steyn, there it is. South Africa claim their 100th try in the Rugby World Cup. And that is the try bonus point.
Yeah, good solid build-up there by South Africa. And Dikemanu, well, he's going to have to call his troops again. They're going to have to stop this green tide. De Prier staying with the pickup. But they're getting behind the Fijian defence. Fiji are having to stretch themselves. Skaltberger with a pop-over pass, staying in for the try. 3 penalties and a try, 2 conversions already to the number 10 from South Africa.
Well, it was a nervous occasion a week ago against Wales. It's one for celebration tonight. Mornay Steyn converts his own try.
It's looking quite tidy for Mornay Steyn. 3 conversions, 3 penalty and a try. Just putting some of the icing on top of the cake. South African fans are delighted. This is a much improved performance, a very disciplined performance throughout.
Well, Siniakoto, the hooker, is currently getting some treatment just underneath his own post.
Yes.
So for now, at least, Fiji are down to 14. So South Africa make a change. The throw Steenkamp comes off, and the cries of the beast come from the crowd. On comes Tendai Mtuera.
Steenkamp has carried well. He's scrummaged well. He'll be delighted with his performance. A bit hot out there, isn't it?
Well, they've made the change at hooker at Fiji. On comes Tuapati. Also there is Nicky Little. Significant occasion for Nicky Little. The first Fijian now to play at 4 World Cups. Oh, and it's stolen. Look at this. Lewarabu. Well, the Springboks were just standing back and watching him. Taken up by Campese Maafu. As Buataba. Little. To Wangani Broto. Here comes Lobombalavu. Oh, there are plenty of white jerseys out there. That was a great pickup from Ongera, but the pass to Nalanga has gone forward. It will not be a try.
Well, listen to the reaction now when people realise in this stadium that it was a forward pass. Well, we've been looking for a spark all game from the Fijians and from the kickoff. Lewaravu, well, he took the ball off. Look at this. It's the one time you'd actually say the South Africans went to sleep, and that was it. That's the spark that Fiji have been looking for. Suddenly they're in behind that South African defence. But the throw over the top there by Ongara was adjudged forward. And on the far side, Nalanga denied the try. That would have brought the house down. Well, it did bring the house down, followed by the boos.
Another powerful Springbok scrummage. And the referee playing advantage here.
Pull back and working around. Pull back and working around. Number 1 white.
And for the sake of the record, it's Campese Maafu who is penalised. There he is. It's a great name, actually. His full name, George David Campisi Maafu. And I think you can conclude from that he was named after a rather famous former Wallaby wing.
Yeah, he was also born in Sydney, I think it was, and also has a Tongan father, if I'm correct, reading my stats before the game. But just, again, a solid scrum here, Martin, wasn't it? That just absolutely splintered the Fijian 8.
Yes, and when he made his international debut, Campesi Maafu, he packed down opposite his brother, Selesi, who was making his debut on the same night for the Wallabies at tight head. And Selesi Maafu is in the Wallabies squad at this World Cup. Well, there is Bismarck du Plessis. What must go through his head? Because the way Peter de Villiers there on the left appears to be operating, no matter what impact Bismarck du Plessis makes, he's not going to start during this World Cup. Do you think anything will change over the course of the next 3 or 4 weeks?
Well, I think the feeling is from Peter de Villiers is that Bismarck du Plessis, he can make such an impact coming off the bench. He can change a game, and I think that's where he wants to use his substitute hooker.
Look at the power again there from the Springboks. France staying with a long pass out to Hochart. Hochart sends away Lambie. Dupree, Berger, Bismarck du Plessis up towards the 22. And the ball went forward, according to Monsieur Poit.
Furu Dupree has just made a couple of little errors at the base, but very solid. I mean, you consider the handling errors, also the penalty counts for both teams as well. They've been quite high. That's Bismarck down on the ground there. But yeah, just going back to the massive debate between John Schmidt, the captain of the South African team, and whether Peter de Villiers will actually play him. Undoubtedly, this man is such a great leader, but the fact that Bismarck du Plessis can come off a bench and make such an impact, Peter de Villiers feels as though it can change a game, it can change the tempo, he can get across the gain line and just bring a different dynamic to the South Africans.
Yes, John Smith actually had a spell at tight head, didn't he, between about November 2008 through to the following November, a period when he managed to accommodate both his captain and Bismarck du Plessis. But look at Pierre Spies there, just brushing off the tacklers. Jacques Ferry there, getting through a couple of tackles, picked up by Dupree. There's Rousseau, who's had another industrious outing. Well, they've turned it, Fiji. Away comes Buatava. And scampering forward again, Ngera.
But again, South Africa so quick back in the defensive jaws. And look at this, they've got an opportunity to maybe go down the blind.
Well, look at those turnovers. 5 against 7. Peterson trying to rip the ball out of his hand was Tuapati, the replacement hooker for Fiji. Referee playing advantage. Buatava being penalised. There's Dupree. Steyn, the dummy, sees the gap. It's like a parting of the seas. And through goes Francois Steyn. The momentum, oh, the offload. The beast, can he reach out? Yes, he can.
Well, we've said it before, we've said it again. It's been such a solid performance, such a step up every time. And for me, Monier Steyn, well, there was options over, but the way he showed the ball, the defence just opened up. But again, it came from good turnover ball. The hard work, the hard yards, that's done. Alberts pinched the ball off Fiji. Look at that lovely show and go. And Frans Steyn, well, you thought he was over. The defence got back, the offload came. Well, there's only one man there, and the crowd went crazy for the beast.
And also there was Pierre Spies, who was crying out for the ball for seconds and seconds. He was almost on the shoulder there of Frans Steyn, but in the end, Tendai Mtuera earning his 30th cap today.
Well, Franz Steyn, you just felt Nalanga came in with a cover tackle. The release of the ball was immediate. Francois Poit was quite happy with that release. Romain Poit, I should say. And the delight shown on the South African faces.
Well, Fourie de Priya goes off. Also coming off, Jacques Fourie. And on there, and it is a significant landmark for Ruben Pienaar, who reaches 50 caps today. Picked up there by Pat Lambie. Ruben Pienaar, now the 21st South African to have played 50 tests or more. There he is, plays his club rugby at Ravenhill for Ulster. Oh, just getting turned over. Nalanga palming off JP Peterson. And did he get there? Well, JP Peterson looks very disappointed over there. Just brushed off Napoleone Nalanga. Well, was his foot in touch?
Well, Martin, one of the first things I always look at is the try scorer, and Nalanga's face, I think, showed its own picture. I think JP Peterson may have bundled out his opposite number out the touch. We're not going to see it from that well. There's a spilled ball.
Yes, it's no try, is it?
The ball's been lost forward by White.
So not only disappointment from Nalanga, disappointment for this crowd.
Easy call that for Matt Goddard, the TMO.
Scrum green. Blocked forward.
But the way the ball popped out, Fiji worked well in the contact area. Nalangas just went for the line. JB Peterson, you've got to applaud his defence.
I don't want to hear you now, okay? I don't want to hear you. And for the referee.
Oh, it could be dangerous, couldn't it? It's a physical game out there. Scott Berger not protected by his teammates, challenging for the ball.
Well, Scott Berger missed out on the Tri-Nations because of that dislocated thumb. And he's rather fortunate there to have got up from that. Controlled there by Spies. And Ruben Pienaar, who's played all over the back line during his international career, but occupying the position now, which is the one he prefers. His father Hasey was a rather useful fullback. And back from Pienaar, back to Mornay Steyn. Very skillfully slid away there off the outside of the right boot.
Yeah, I was going to say the way Mornay Steyn planted that ball onto his right foot, end-on-end kick off the left-hand side of the ball to the right-hand touchline.
Straight over the back. Well gathered there by Ongera. There is for Buataba. The Saramai by Nalanga, anxious to atone, coming there at speed, but he couldn't find a gap. Buataba again, Kwame Bole. Buataba, Lovombalavu. Now to Nicky Little. Little just outnumbered, isn't he? Just staying in play. The pick-up from Tuapati. That was by, out to Kwame Bole again. And Tuera went low. Gathered by Bismarck Duplessis.
He loves getting the ball in his hands, doesn't he? The charging rampages. Nalanga almost away, but the original knock-on from Fiji. But once again, let's applaud and marvel at the confidence of this South African defence. This has been a good test for them, you know.
And 12 wide, substitution, time off.
So Natani Tale comes on. Off goes Wame Lewarabu. So an Edinburgh player coming on for the Sale Shark. Jeremiah Byers also left the field. Well, it's not only the scoreline, it's what the Springboks have offered. They've offered more than we were perhaps expecting here, haven't they?
Yes, it's been a good step up for them. They've been clinical at times, they've been solid. They've been very, very organised. And I think the fact that they played a structured game allowed a little bit of space in the first half. They found the spaces in behind the back of the Fijian defence. And then the 4 tries they've got, this bonus point, will look good on today's scorecard.
Back from Pinar to Steyn. It was a tough test for a place kicker down in Wellington. It's got a reputation for blowing about a bit in this part of the world. It's done the same again tonight. And South Africa will not be planning yet, but they do expect to be down here for a quarter-final. Of course, it's a stadium that they know well from their trips in the Tri-Nations. Pinar to Brousseau. Look at Skalkberger immediately with him.
What I've liked about the South Africa performance is their senior players have played really, really well. They've been confident with the ball in hand. And when they've used the bench, Hugard comes on.
And look at Hougaard there. He's up and running again. Pinar just bumps one of his teammates out of the way. They've got green jerseys out wide if they can get it through the hands. JB Peterson gathers, reorganises, still going. Look at Pierre Spies right on his shoulder again. Pinar, Berger, Rousseau, and you don't stop him from that range. A smile on the face of Rassie Erasmus. He must be impressed.
Yeah, they've been good, haven't they? They've built the phases of possession. They've built the phases, they've built the confidence. It's a happy camp if you're a South African. If you're a Fijian, you'll be disappointed.
Well, just a few seconds before Rousseau crossed, we were told he'd been named the formal man of the match. I guess this was by way of celebration.
Very much so. And the way he took his try there, because when South Africa have got behind that Fijian defence, it's been a bit splintered, and you saw from that last camera shot, Fiji don't put up a white line, straight white line, they're splintered, and that gives Rousseau an opportunity.
Within a point of the half-century. Well, there you see, 9 tackles made, metres with the ball in hand at 127. That's only with the ball. Think of the ground he's covered without it.
Yeah, the Blue Bull with 60 caps, that experience worth every penny.
Three minutes to go. Can the Springboks go through the 50? The Springbok who's snuck on is Juan de Jong, wearing 22. Well, turnovers conceded, handling errors. Not much to choose between the two sides. That's Fatiaki. Fatiaki, when he returns from this tournament, will be returning to the West Midlands. He'll be playing at Worcester. That's Tale. Back from Buatava. That's a replacement hooker to a Apati. And the Springboks are there. And they've got the turnover. Back from Berger. There's Peterson. He's got Rousseau around him. He's also got support from Pinar. Rousseau gets dumped down. There's Berger. Offloads to Pinar. Francois Steyn. Lambie. Hogarth. He's up again, is Hogarth. Oh, that was a timely tackle. The offload there to Pinar. Well, they're anxious to finish off with a flourish. Hogarth again. Oh, and just getting forced out of play. Bismarck Duplessis.
Laurent Balavo with an excellent tackle.
Matt, can you hear me?
Yes, Roman.
But
Yes,
thrilling
Matt,
stuff
is it
here
a
from
try,
South
yes or no?
Africa. They're cutting loose now.
Question.
They've splintered this game. JP Peterson, well, he ran from deep. He got the support of Danny Rousseau.
Yeah. We are going. Come on.
Well, the foot in touch, you can see it straight away. So a line out for Fiji.
Decision, Matt.
Yes, Roman. The green player has put his foot on the touch line.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll leave it with you.
Okay. No try, just check about the full play.
So Romain Poit just being cautious.
Sorry, George. Sorry. What did you see?
Number 6 white down there.
Okay. Decision. Penalty, just a penalty. Okay.
Oh, you can see
6
both
wide.
assistant referees in.
6 wide.
Wanga
Give me the
Nibroto,
mark.
I think he's been picked up for a dangerous tackle. Here it is on Pat Lambie.
Well,
Captain White.
both touch judges had seen it, so
Who is the captain?
obviously concerned there. We've seen a fair bit of this tackling.
There's no try.
That's how you
but dangerous tackle
put the
for
player down, but it was a
6 wide.
dangerous
Okay,
tackle.
this
Let's just
about
listen in.
that. We come back to the mark for penalty against White. Dangerous tackle. 6 wide. Just there.
So we're coming back for the penalty.
Time off.
So just salt in the wounds, isn't it, really?
Tackle. Okay. 1 minute.
1 minute to go, says Romain Poit.
Yeah, Morney staying sensible decision. Stick it in the corner. Last effort from the forwards. Bismarck Duplessis into Rousseau, and the drive that will come on from the South African 8. They'll try and splinter the Fijian defence, but I reckon South Africa will go for the try here, just to finish off a highly polished performance.
But it would be just the cherry on the top, wouldn't it? And there you can see the legs sprinting away onto Era, but it's well repelled there by Fiji, but it's still... Oh, Brousseau getting
More
driven off the ball.
on migraine.
That's a rare event.
Well, it's interesting. I think when the South Africans will go through this videotape, they'll look at occasions like that and they'll just say that platform, that setup was not good enough, let's work on that. And that's how South Africa are going to have to go through this competition. They're going to have to improve in every area of the game, but certainly this has been a step up. This has been a very good performance, and now you would say yes, they're looking the part. No South African team is going to stand down from attempting to go right the way through this World Cup.
Bending, White. Blocks. Crutch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
So we're into the red numbers, and look at the drive from the box. Picked up by Spies. That's Steyn, the dummy. Pinar. There's Smith. The offload. Brousseau. It's almost champagne stuff at the moment, isn't it?
Side entry. 8.
Well, in the end, it's Spies who's penalised. And Fiji, well, they're not giving up just yet, are they? Tele. Out from Little. Nalanga trying to stretch his legs, taken down by Peterson. Koyame Bole. Brousseau with the tackle. Turned again by South Africa. Berger out to stay. They're giving full value, aren't they? Both sides, to be fair. Juan de Jong. Penalty being played to South Africa. Almost 2 minutes into the red numbers. Smith. That time it was Albert. Numbers out wide here. JP Peterson. That's Duplessis. Pinard. Monet Steyn. France Steyn. Well, they're anxious to score, aren't they? Rousseau, De Jong, Peterson.
Patient build-up, though. Patient build-up by South Africa.
Smith, Berger, Alberts, Francois Steyn, the chip over the top. Hofart is after it, but the ball has beaten him. Well, the crowd have got an extra almost 3 minutes there, and Romain Poit has blown his whistle for the end of the match. 28 unanswered points in that second half from the Springboks. The final score, 49 points to 3, and the world champions delivering a very clear message. The Webb Ellis Cup, it's ours. If you want it, you're going to have to come and get it.
Yes, South Africa showing both organisation and form. Their challenge at this World Cup is clearly growing. All the reaction coming up, plus the build-up to the big Australia-Ireland game, which will be underway at 9:30.